will this time. He'll take a peek to the inside. Slide him high off the corner.
Here's contact there in turn 1 and 2. Oh my goodness, Hatzler has it out front, way back doors.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hyper Summer Series. It's Season 2, and we've crossed over the halfway point, and you have joined us here for race number 5 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We have traveled all the way to the virtual East Coast here in South Carolina. You see, we'll cross over into Myrtle Beach, and we've got just 3 races left. After tonight, we'll go over up to South Boston, Virginia at South Boston Speedway, but we'll go all the way up to Thompson and all the way back down to Hickory Motor Speedway to round out the championship. That's all through August and the end of September, all leading up to the Misfit Touring Series Season 3. We'll be back in the late model stocks. My name is Scott Shive. I'm joined alongside by Sky Shrek. We've got Morgan Cook here in production this evening, and Sky, we've got low grip, low banking, and a hot track here today.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is a track that a lot of these drivers aren't particularly used to running. Opened in 1958, closed in 2020 in real life, but still available here on the sim. Just over half a mile in length, 13 degrees of banking through the corners. And as you said, it's a little bit of a D-shaped oval, and we are going to have a bit of a hot track, a bit of a loose track tonight. If practice was any indication, we know these super lates like to start off a little loose before they start to tighten up over the course of the run. at Myrtle Beach, we could see them stay loose well into this race.
I think we're going to see a lot of that characteristic. With it being hot, this being such a low grip racetrack, it's also a really rough surface. So I think we'll have to see drivers really be able to take care of their tires if they want to be up in the front and in contention for this race. We got a bit of important information. These drivers cannot make it all the way on fuel here this evening. It's just a little short. So that's going to give us two different strategies. Some that might call it, let's pit it halfway and take some additional tires that are in the pit lane, and some might try to save and go all the way, because if we get 2 cautions, you could save those extra 2 laps.
Yeah, those cautions, if we get them, could make a big difference in the fuel strategy here tonight. As you said, 140, 145 laps on fuel. That is just in the window of a couple cautions and some good laps of saving fuel. You got 2 tire sets available, 1 on the car, 1 in the pit, so you can make that halfway tire change if you want. We've seen a lot of tire changes come around lap 100, around 2/3 of the way through these races. We might see something similar here tonight. Pit road speed 35 miles an hour, 3 green-white checkers if we need them, and the scheduled race distance is 150 laps tonight at Myrtle Beach.
Well, Sky, let's talk about our point standings here in the Hyper Summer Series in 2025 Season 2. Jake Grout leads them by 24 points over Christian Peterson, your winner from the last race at the Las Vegas Bull Ring. Then it's Corey Bodie, who has yet to be able to pick up a win, but has been very strong. Then in 4th place, it's Aaron Johnson, who won just a couple of races ago back at Oxford Plains. Then running in the top 5, it's Alex Greats, 64 points out. So the battle is narrowing for who can get enough points to be that champion.
Yeah, you really see that gap open up once you get back about 7 or 8 cars or so. Those top few drivers, Grout, Peterson, Bodie, those are the ones we're really looking at for the championship battle. You can throw Aaron Johnson in there as well. He had a pretty abysmal start to the season, but has shot up the board in these last 2 races. Don't count out some of these guys further back. I wouldn't count out Alex Greats. I wouldn't count out late runs from Jake Sylvia or Justin Crow either. But for now, Grout, Peterson, and Bodie are your biggest contenders. And Grout and Bodie are going to be your biggest contenders to grab a win here tonight as well.
It's going to be tough for those drivers outside of the top 5 to be able to make it and make a title fight contention battle here late in the season. But it is still possible, very much possible, for those drivers to be able to do so. So we'll update you on the driver standings as we roll on through the night. And we have got a little bit of a award here for our fastest time here in qualifying. That is going to go to Cody Dempster. He's going to win the $15 that comes from Mystic Transport LLC. So big thanks to Mystic Transport, awarding Cody Dempster the $15 for the fastest time. That fastest time, Sky, however, though, Cody Dempster will not start on the front row because the invert is a 6th tonight.
Yep, he will drop back to that 6th position on this start. One thing I want to mention, Jake Grout in the 61 starting on front row. Not only is he your points leader, but we heard him a little bit in practice before we went live here, and he was talking at length about how much he hates this racetrack. So if he's qualifying in 2nd here tonight and he still hates this place, he might have some speed later on and once he gets used to it.
Jake Grout, I think, is one of those drivers that always, he never fails to surprise you and I. And whatever he does, when you were out for the Las Vegas, we were talking about, he was abysmal through the first half of that race, and I think that's how he would have put it as well. But how everything played out, he found speed late in the run, played good strategy, let other people have their own mistakes, and he stayed clean. He was able to get a top 3 finish, and what boosted him into the points lead here for the championship. So I think Jake Grout is one that never fails to surprise you and I. Going into the starting grid here for tonight, let's get it on rolling. It's starting first. It will be Cody Dempster setting your fastest time. He'll be back in 6th. Then it's Jake Grout. He'll be starting in row number 3 in the 5th spot. Then in 4th position, it'll be the 33 of Dustin Smith. In 3rd, it'll be Justin Mulligan in the 51. Starting on the front row in 2nd place on the outside, Aaron Johnson in the 78. And starting on provisional pole here this evening, it'll be Corey Bodie in the number 44. As we run through the rest of the field, it will be as they are read. 7th will be Alex Greats in the 00. And to his outside in the 8th position, the 72 of Brandon Atkinson. Rounding out the top 10 here in row number 5, John Leday in the 22 and the 71. Graham Peterson, winner from last week.
Rolling off 11th tonight is the 82 car of Matthew Knott. He will be on the inside of Tim Weinkoff in the 54. 13th and 14th, Robert Taylor in the 66 next to Hudson Geiger in the 10. And your last car on the field tonight in 15th will be the 85 machine of Aaron Harden. Drivers are pulling onto the racetrack now, and it shouldn't be too long before we're getting ready to go 150 laps tonight at Myrtle Beach.
150 laps. I mean, that is going to be tough on these drivers here for the night. I mean, I think we're just going to have to let the tires and let the racing talk for itself about how rough this surface truly is. What are your two drivers that you're watching, one or two drivers, I'm going to put you on the spot, Sky, that you may be thinking about tonight? You mentioned it a minute ago, but I want to hear it again for the fans.
Well, Jake Grout is going to have a good shot at this going. He started in second. He's going to go from 5th here with that invert. We'll see what he can do. He is your points leader. He had a lot of speed in qualifying and in practice. If he can shoot back up to the front here, I think he'll be a contender. Same with the 44 of Corey Bodie. He got the other side of the invert. Qualified 6th, will go from 1st tonight. He's always a threat to win. He doesn't have a win yet in this series. Tonight might be his best chance.
Tonight could be Corey Bodie's best chance. He's been so close, battling it up front. It always seems he's been caught in other people's mistakes. Can he turn that around here this evening? Barring the flag man will get ready to wave the green. And we are green here, racing at Myrtle Beach.
Big
We're
wreck.
already wrecking. Caution will come immediately back out. That's Cody Dempster, Christian Peterson involved as well.
That started up in 4th and just spiraled back through the field from there. And that is a lot of good cars that are going to be taken out before we even get to the line. We'll show you a replay there. And they were getting hooked before they even made it around. That's major damage for Jake Grout. I think it's easier to list the cars who weren't involved in that one, because that was the majority of the field there after that 33 of Dustin Smith hit the outside wall.
Yeah, let's watch Dustin Smith here. You see, I think he just spins the tires.
He does. And what a move there from the
my.
72 of Brandon Atkinson to get through. He was
Seriously,
one of
back in
very
the
few
fourth
cars
row.
that stuck through that.
Well, it was hard for him to sneak through. Let's ride along here right behind Dustin Smith. Let's watch along. He's going to get into the 61 of Grout. Yeah, this is right along with Atkinson. That is really impressive that he was able to make his way through that. Wow. I mean, that's all I can say.
It's even more impressive on the onboard camera there. He snuck through that one by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, so a lot of drivers involved in that one. Tim Weinkoff, Jake Grout, Dustin Smith, Matthew Knott got a piece of it. Cody Dempster got a piece as well. So I would say a little bit less than half the field got some damage in that one. And here's the thing, I don't believe we have any fast repairs here tonight, Sky.
We do not, and you're already seeing a couple cars go a lap down here from the damage they sustained. Matthew Knott still in the pits, 2 down. He's going to leave the pits now, but that car's got a lot of damage on it. Dustin Smith also 1 down. So those are a couple cars who are going to be laps down here in the very early going of this race, and it's going to take some time for these drivers to make up those laps and make up these positions. We got some more cars on pit road. Peterson, Grates, Dempster all trying to fix damage, but they should be able to get out before the field comes back around.
So bad news is... Well, go ahead.
Will not. He's gone a lap down.
Oh, no. Well, bad news is you've got damage. Good news is that you've got a lot of time. Christian Peterson has got a black flag. He might have been speeding in the pit lane. We'll have to check on that one, but I hope it's not speeding in the pit lane for him, because he'd have to come back down for that, and we are getting ready to go back green. So 5 laps officially being completed as we get the restart here for the first time tonight, but truly no green flag action. See Corey Bodie and Aaron Johnson line up here on the front row. Aaron Johnson slowly inching up to the rear of the 44. Green flag back underway as we're back under caution. Excuse me. That we're going to send him back out. I think race control might be giving all these drivers a little bit more time to sort out some of this pit road madness.
Yeah, Peterson did in fact get a penalty for speeding out of the pit box there. That is going to be bad for him. Cody Dempster, your quick time in qualifying is 1 down, but he does get that $15 prize from Mystic Transport LLC there, so that'll be a little bit of a consolation for what has not been a great race so far.
We got everything cleared up now. Everyone's all good to go. We're double file all the way back to row 5. Then it's single file on the inside for all of those trying to get their laps back and all that. Green flag back underway. A little bit of wiggles throughout the field, but we're clean into turn 1. Corey Bodie's going to lead Aaron Johnson out of 2.
Top 2 are pulling away, but the battle is on for third. You've got Justin Mulliken diving up the inside of Brandon Atkinson there in that 72 car. Early moves for the 51 to try to drive his way up through the field. And then the battle for 5th here, you've got some cars who have really gotten lucky after that accident. Robert Taylor and Hudson Geiger did a great job to sneak through. 5th, 6th, and 7th right now started 13th, 14th, and 15th on the race.
Whoa, did you see Jake Grout really trying to send that in there? He really has less damage than I think you and I would have imagined. He's running in the 8th position right now here behind the battle for 6th between Hardin and Geiger. Geiger's going to fall back into 7th. Hardin is going to move on through. Jake Grout looking for position number 7 off of 4. Geiger cannot find a way to fall in line.
Battle's on for the lead. Aaron Johnson stuck a nose to the inside of Corey Bodie there last time around, but he wasn't able to find the exit grip to take the spot away. That 78 has dropped off, but he's taking big lunges on corner entry, trying to bring himself closer to that 44 car to take the lead away here and hopefully take the win away in about 140 laps.
Long race yet to go, and look at Johnson. He is hot on the heels of the 44, and look at that. Like you said, the lunge on entry, he is absolutely sending it there. You got to wonder how that might affect this car later on, as we've got caution.
Tim Weinkoff is destroyed.
Oh, goodness. He's already brought it back into the pit lane and towed off. Let's take a look at the drivertees.com replay. Watching here with the 54 of Weinkoff. Oh, and I don't even think that was him. It's into the wall a little bit, and I think I can't really blame that on really either of the driver for a big incident, but Cody Dempster there having no idea that the 54 is going to get sucked into the wall like that. We've talked about with these super late models, you can get sucked into the wall, and it slows you down so significantly. So I don't think there's anything the 24 of Dempster could have done.
And Cody Dempster there is going to take more damage, and this race is going to go bad to worse for that 024 car, who it looks so promising after a great run in qualifying, but it has not at all been the start he wanted. You see that wreck there with him taking some pretty serious nose damage. I would like to mention the black flag for speeding for Christian Peterson was cleared. Race control gave him some grace on that one, and he will stay on the lead lap here.
Well, race control, you know, they're not always going to be too hard on the drivers, especially when it's one of those deals where half the field gets involved, trying to get all the drivers, as many of them in competitive contention as possible. You can see some of those drivers coming back down the pit lane to get some of that damage fixed. This is Alex Great in the 0 car. You can see that front nose pushed in just a little bit. That's not going to affect him too bad. It's maybe half a tenth, but not too bad. You could have a lot worse. You know, Sky, I'm really surprised that we didn't see a lot of these drivers have worse damage. I think it looked a lot worse in the instant than it was. I think iRacing and the model might have given them a little bit of grace as well, because let's talk about your pick. I mean, Jake Grout already got up into 7th before that. It's put him back into 9th after all these pit stops and things again, but he looked like he had some good speed even after the wreck.
Jake Grout was making some pretty big moves there to try to pull himself back up through the field after getting involved in that early accident. You said it, that 61 car looks pretty clean. No damage really visible on it, and that's definitely helping him out.
Well, we'll have to see how it will prevail. 15 laps completed will come to enter lap number 16. The front row looks the same as it has been here in our front 2 restarts. Green flag, great jump for the front row and great jump for Bodie. He's going to get out clear of Johnson. They're going to clear by almost half a second already on the rest of the field. Wreck behind in 1. Hudson Geiger gets into the inside wall. We're still going to remain green. Geiger will go all the way towards the rears.
He had a moment there with John Leday. Both cars got major loose, but ultimately were able to hold on to it with just a drop to the rear and maybe a little bit of damage from banging off each other. This is the battle for P4 up here. You've got the 66 of Robert Taylor working on the inside of Brandon Atkinson. He'll get around, and now the 85 of Aaron Harden is going to try to find a hole. Looks like he will keep it down to the inside, and he will try to get into the top 5.
Going to be a three-way fight here. Harden in the red 85 on the inside of Atkinson. Atkinson still trying to stay up in this field after avoiding involvement in that first lap incident. He's stuck on the high side now, but he's giving Harden quite a hard time.
He certainly is giving him a hard time there. A little bit of contact there. He's loose off the corner. Will that open the door for Alex Grates behind him? Not quite. That 0 car is going to be a little more aggressive now that he's seen the move can be done, and he's seen Harden get loose up in front of him. Grates also under threat because Jake Grout is trying to get spots. He's moving back through the field up to 8th.
Well, you saw what happened to him, Sky. He bumped into that curbing down on the exit of turn number 2. Drivers really can hit that, and look at this. Alex Grates on board. Well, he is fully suited up. He has got the gloves, he's got the helmet, and look, they say you've got to get into the mindset of the driver. Really, sometimes you got to get in the seat of the driver, and that's with your full helmet and suited up. He's ready to go, and he's hot on the heels right now of Harden.
Man, he's taking simulation racing to a whole new level here. He's got the helmet on and everything. Visor up, because I imagine it would be hard to see the screen with it down. But he's still working on this 7th position, trying to pass Harden. By the way, battle going on for 4th. Brandon Atkinson has just taken the spot away from Robert Taylor. And now Aaron Harden looks like he'll finally get through as well there. Will Grates be able to make the move?
It's really impressive on Harden. He's up 9 positions from the start of this race, and Grates trying to move through on the 66 of Taylor. And whoa, you saw that. Taylor going to cut him off, chop his nose down low. We are stacked up here, back right inside of the top 5 and outside of the top 5. We're getting some hot-headed drivers here.
Grates already has a hole in the nose. He's not afraid to use the bumper behind the wheel of that 0 car, and he's trying to get it a little more cleaner up the inside of the 66 of Robert Taylor. It looks like he will be able to put that car back to P7. Actually, Taylor does a pretty good job of holding him off there across the start-finish line, but this time through 1 and 2. Grates will get the spot secure, and now Jake Grout is going to be the next car in. Battle for the lead is going on as Aaron Johnson has gotten around Corey Bodie. He's your new leader on lap 26.
Johnson gonna take it away. We talked about those impressive lunges from him really entering the corner hard. Again, Aaron Johnson, really good in super late model competition. I think he knows a lot on his own, but I think when a lot of people think about MRL in super late model competition, they think about Corey Bodie, and that's the thing. I don't know about getting in front of him. I want to run the pace of Bodie for quite a while in this race, but Johnson, he's ready to go out and lead.
Johnson has a win this season, took the victory at Oxford Plains. Corey Bodie, on the other hand, still looking for his first. So Johnson has some experience in bringing that car to the top step of the podium. Robert Taylor has some experience battling for 7th or 6th here, because it looks like he's been doing it basically all night. Back green. Almost into the wall there is that 00 of Grates. He's now having to work the outside instead of the inside, but it works just as well, and he holds P6.
Well, some drivers are able to work the outside like that. Look at that Jake Grout, aggressive move to the inside of Taylor. He's going to somehow make it stick. Was way loose on the entry, but he was able to keep it together. Now he's to the inside of the 66 of Taylor, going to bump his way on through. Taylor not going to quite give up the fight just yet. Thinks about the crossover, looks to the inside. He pulled it on the 0 of Grates. He tries it here on Grout, but not going to quite work out. Taylor back to 8th.
Jake Grout still trying to move his way back up to the field. Driver who qualified P2 started P5 after the invert before that early mess that took out a lot of good cars. Grout escaped with less damage than most and has been able to keep it working up here. One driver who I'm impressed with is Aaron Harden. He really got the benefit of that early accident. He started dead last. Car with major issues off the pace there. That is the 72 car of... see who that is.
It's 22 John
car.
Lene.
This is John Lene in the 22. Excuse me, I read that as the 72 because he's got the hole in the side of the car under the bottom part of the 22 on that side. Major issues for him. Got stuck in the wall, went all the way back to 11.
Yeah, he really hasn't been having the greatest of days. Been running outside of the top 10 here at the beginning. As we've got a wreck right in front of him. It's a 33 of Dustin Smith. Stopped broadside on the back front straightaway. Caution will come out for the second time today.
And that was contact from behind with the 10 of Hudson Geiger. And you'll see that here off the corner. Oh, he gets loose into the wall, and then Geiger gets in for the killing blow there on that 33 car.
Yeah, well, not the first time we've seen the 33 go around, but I've got to say, I don't think that was any fault of Geiger. Somewhat of a similar incident that we saw to the back straightaway when we saw the 24 get into the 54 of Weinkauf, and yeah, you can see Geiger, no idea that he was going to get up in the wall like that and slow down so drastic.
Yeah, not at all what Hudson Geiger would have wanted there, and he is in trouble. Pit stops underway for a couple cars here, it looks like. Aaron Harden, Christian Peterson have taken it into the pit lane. I wonder if this is just fixing damage on these cars. Harden, actually looks like a fuel-only stop there for Aaron Harden. So maybe playing a little bit of strategy in that 85 car to make sure he's good to go to the end. And we're seeing Peterson in here to fix some damage. Alex Grayson to fix some damage. Taylor, Geiger, Leday, and Dustin Smith are all in as well. We'll see what they do here in pit road.
I like that call. Yeah, I like that call for the 85 to go ahead, come in and get fuel, because I think if we get a caution anywhere near halfway, I do believe we will see a lot of these drivers take tires, because the fall off has been quite immense. A lot of let's go up to the top. Let's go to Aaron Johnson. His best lap was an 18.58. His last lap when we were under green flag was in the upper 19s. So a little bit less than a second and a half of fall off already in these 35 laps run.
Hudson Geiger and Dustin Smith got black flags, but they were both cleared by race control, so they will be off the hook for that. Although Geiger spending a pretty long time in the pits here, I don't think he's going to get it back out before we go green. So the front row will stay Johnson and Bodie, and we will have 12 cars on the lead lap when we restart. Johnson on back to John Leday.
So the same front row we talked about last time that we saw at the beginning, but it is a bit of a different order. Aaron Johnson holds control over Corey Bodie. He decides when it's time to go, and he says it's time to go now. Green flag back in the air. A great jump for Johnson. He'll get ahead of Bodie.
Oh, Geiger
battle for contention back in the back. Oh, goodness, Geiger.
He's got it towed off. He was stopped in the middle of the racetrack, and I was scared that was going to bring the caution out for a second there. Will stay green. Battle for third is Mulliken and Atkinson.
Mulliken, Atkinson. The 51 is Mulliken. Atkinson is the 72. Mulliken gonna pull on through. Atkinson gonna lose out, and we've got carnage. The 66 of Taylor stopped in front of the 22 of John Leday, and caution is out once again.
That started quite a bit before where it ended for these two cars. Heading down into turn one, he tries to slip the gap. It's contact with the 24 that sends him into the wall, and then back down into Christian Peterson and John Leday.
And Peterson had been fixing some damage from earlier as well. Didn't look like he had too much. He's going to have much more now that he's going to have to go in and fix.
That was a major, major hit to the nose of that car for sure.
DriverTees.com replay. We ran along with Peterson. Yeah, I had no idea that the 66 was going to shoot down the track like that. Let's go back and look at the beginning of that incident, because you talked about the 66 really trying to make a look to the inside of the 85, and I think it really just didn't work out for him. Tried to pull a bit of a crossover here, but I wonder if he got loose on his own or got tagged right there.
He got tagged by Dempster behind him. He was just trying to slot himself in the line and didn't quite have the space to really get it done properly.
So you'll see Leday and the 66 of Taylor coming in here to get some damage repaired. I think Leday, I don't think he got any abrupt damage from that, was able to stop right in front of the 66. I think the 71 of Christian Peterson got the worst of it. So I think we got to think about now, Sky. I think how many drivers have not gotten damage? I think it's maybe the top 5.
It's a lot of cars. Hudson Geiger and big news, Christian Peterson have both disconnected from the session. They are done for the night in those cars, and that is going to be a major hit to the points chances and the championship chances of Christian Peterson in that 71 car. EOLs given to Robert Taylor and Cody Dempster, but Robert Taylor is spending a lot of time in the pits, so I don't think he will maybe get back out on the track to serve that EOL.
Oh, Christian Peterson, that is huge because he is currently running second to Jake Grout in the... So that is huge, and that with this, if he was denied but to come back in, this could completely eliminate his shot at maybe fighting for a championship.
Yeah, it's going to really throw a wrench into everything here, but that is great news for Jake Grout, whose championship chances have really improved.
Really improved over the past couple of races, but we've got to get back to it. We've got to get back up and rolling, getting close to the 1/3 mark of this race. These drivers trying to get some clean green flag runs under their belt. Green flag back in the air. Johnson, another good jump in front of Bodie.
Johnson holds that spot in front of Bodie, Mulligan, Atkinson, and then the battle for 5th, which is Aaron Harden and Jake Grout trying to run that high line, and it looks like he'll make it work there for the move on the 85 car. Getting clear up into 5th over Aaron Harden. He'll take that spot. I was going to shout out Aaron Harden earlier. He benefited a lot from that early accident. Got up to 5th, but he's held it. He's done a great job of continuing to run up here in the front of the field, turning good fortune in a good position.
Sometimes drivers not able to qualify the best, but they've really got great race pace. He is, in fact, fastest mover. We talked about him. He was up 10 positions earlier, and after, oh goodness, and calamity right in front of him. The 61 of Grout goes spin-tailing into the wall. John Leday piles in, and oh my gosh.
Well, that is not what Aaron Harden wanted to see after what has been a pretty good day for him. That's major damage for him. Grout, Grates, Leday, 4 cars heavily involved. You see the 61 just get stuck in the wall there, and the 85 gets right into the back of him. John Leday, collateral at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's done for the race.
I can't say I'm surprised for that, to see them done. Oh my goodness, let's ride along with John Leday in the 22 here. This is going to happen. You see the smoke just a little bit right there. John Leday seeing all this smoke, no idea where to go, locks it up, and by the time he locks it up, he's unable to steer.
And he'll be our 4th DNF of the race, joining Peterson, Geiger, and Matthew Knott, that 22 car, sustaining enough damage that John Leday did not think it was worthy to continue. You can see how much damage there gets taken by Aaron Harden and Alex Grates. Those 2 cars went hard into the back of that accident.
Yeah, they really did, and the 61 got into the wall really, really good there. Slowed Jake Grout down a lot. And we were surprised he didn't have a lot of damage earlier, but I think he's got significant damage now after spinning like that, front nose and rear into the wall.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. I really think the top 4 cars, Johnson, Bodie, Mulligan, and Atkinson, are maybe the only drivers that haven't been involved in really multiple wrecks at this point. It's been chaos from about 5th on back in this field, even really 4th on back in this field from the start of the race. Those drivers up front have kept it steady, have kept it clean, and that's why they're still up there after all the cautions we've seen early on.
Well, and cautions like this, guy, is why in the past, some of our races here in the Hyper Summer Series, we've seen drivers decide not to pit for fresh tires. They do have an extra set laying in the pits, but with so few laps run in green flag conditions, this is sometimes why we see these drivers decide to stay out when we maybe get to the halfway point.
They'll all be good on fuel here. They came in about 5 to 10 laps short, and with 5 cautions, we're not going to be worrying about that anymore. If these drivers up front pit, it'll be entirely for tire strategy here, and it'll be because they think it'll help them make it to the end of the race.
The control car has always gotten the jump. Johnson trying to keep that trend, that streak alive, as we now officially cross to the 1/3 mark of this race. Johnson get the great jump, green flag back in the air. They rumble past out of turn 2.
Bodie will hold P2 at the moment, side by side for P4. You've got Dustin Smith on the inside of Brandon Atkinson in that 72 car. battle for these positions has been going on for a long while. I think 4th and 5th are the most hotly contested spots all night. 33 gives a little slide up the track there, but the 00 stays right on his door as we head down into turn 3.
Going to give a bit of a door to the 0 of greats. Justin Smith trying to break into the top 5. He started up in the top 5, but got involved at the spinning the tires on the initial start, and then he got into the wall earlier in one of our third cautions today, but he's trying to get back into the top 5 for the first time today, but Greats is not making it easy. He's going to get loose there on the high side. Smith will move on through, as well as the 24 of Dempster, so Greats going to fall back to the 7th position.
Still ongoing here as it is up front. Aaron Johnson has started to pull away a little bit from Corey Bodie in that 44 car. 0.3 of a second gap opening up between those two. And it's another half of a second back from Corey Bodie to Justin Mulliken in the 51. Johnson and Bodie have pretty clearly been your fastest cars all night, and a third of the way through this race, they are continuing their trend of domination.
And I'd love to see them stay close together as well. I'd love to see them battle it out towards the end, because they have definitely been the 2 fastest drivers. And I think they've been 2 of the fastest drivers all season long. Johnson's a little bit younger than Bodie, but he definitely has a lot of raw speed. Had it a bit rough in the opening. He's the 5 flags, but then picked up his win at Oxford Plains. He's been pretty decent at the last 2 races, Oxford and other places, but just trying to get back to victory lane to be our first repeat winner of the Hyper Summer Series Season 2.
Aaron Johnson also the only driver in the field tonight who has a win in the Hyper Summer Series this year. So any other driver getting a win, it would be their first. Aaron Johnson, on the other hand, has that experience getting to victory lane. He'll try to do it for a second time again tonight, be our first multi-time winner. It's going to be 35 laps led as he brings that 78 car around. Started up in second after the invert and has done a great job to hold it up there.
I made a mention of tire wear earlier, and I mixed up my 8s and 9s because these drivers have definitely not had a second to fall off, but they're getting there. I think I was a little over aggressive on my thoughts of the tire wear at the time. We were under caution, but a little bit about 4/10, 5/10, almost half a second of fall off as we've got a battle back up in the top 5. It's Dustin Smith trying to attack on the 72 of Brandon Atkinson. Smith having some great speed midway through the run.
Atkinson, one of those drivers who's been able to stay up front just by staying out of the accidents. That's what's kept him in that 4th position, but he is under threat from a train of 3 on the bottom down there. You see Smith, Dempster, and Greats are all going to try to find their way around this 72 car. None of the top 4 cars, and that includes Atkinson, have pit yet. However, the cars behind him, Smith, Dempster, and Greats, have each pit 5 or more times this race. It's a big difference in strategy between the cars in your top 4 and the cars further back.
So it's either you've pit, or it's either you haven't pit, or you've been on pit road every time we've had a caution. All those drivers getting involved in instant scene to fix that damage. Again, no fast repairs. You've got to go on pit road and fix damage naturally. As we have contact, 33 into the 72 of Atkinson, and Atkinson going to lose out on 2 positions there. Might lose out a 3rd here to Greats. All the while, that move from Smith is going to open the door here for Dempster.
Side by side for 2 rows there as this battle continues. Dempster has that spot looking for P4. Driver who ran the quick time in qualifying, got in about 3 incidents, went a lap down, but has done a great job to recover and fight for this 4th position here in this race. He's already won $15 there from getting the fastest qualifying time, courtesy of Mystic Transports LLC, and he'll look to get some more here as he gets clear of Greats.
And all the while, Greats able to pull on through, keep that door open with the 33 of Smith, so he's able to move up into the 6th position, the 5th position. Dustin Smith now back into 7th, and look who's back. It's the 72 of Atkinson. He's going to be able to get that spot back they lost earlier to the 33.
He has dropped back 2 positions still, though. Claimed 1 back, like you said, but 6th is not as good as 4th, and he would like to be running a little higher up where he was before. these drivers, Dempster and Greats, are now going to be tasked with trying to chase down third place Justin Mulliken, who started in third, and I really don't think he's left third all night. Got one lap led, but otherwise has sat very comfortably in that third place position in his 51 car. Got a 1 second gap ahead of him, 1.7 gap behind him. He's just on cruise control, racing the track instead of other cars.
Yeah, the 51 of Mulliken has really just been trying to stay quiet all race long. He has done that so far. The question is, can he keep that up? This is our best green flag run of the race, and Johnson has led pretty substantially. The gap has stayed pretty much the same between him and Bodie. I'm really curious, Sky, though, to how this will change over the course of this race. We're closing in 5 laps until we reach halfway.
There we are. We're very nearing the halfway point in this race at the moment. Alex Greats is kind of your closest battle on the racetrack here to Cody Dempster in the 0-2-4. Greats is trying to reel in Dempster, but they're running basically equal lap times right now. Dempster a little quicker that last time around. It's actually quicker than both Mulliken and Bodie too, so maybe he'll have something for those cars pretty soon.
And look at this, Sky. Last lap by, the top 5 are running all within a 1/10 of a second of each other. So it's not that they, I think Johnson and Bodie are definitely the class of the field, but the other 3 behind them have very similar speed.
Yeah, everybody's got pretty similar speed in this field. I mean, first through about 6th, sometimes 7th, are running very similar lap times right now. We've got a very equal skill level in the Hyper Summer Series, and that has been on display with the lap times being run. Oh, drifted, Greats. He's still drifting. It's still going. Got it saved. Man, that car is going all the way to the right. He's driving it like it's a dirt track.
Yeah, I mean, his rear tires are screaming at this point. He is loose off the corner. You can see that he is counter steering like crazy. I mean, his rear tires have been abused at this point.
Yeah, he is going through it right now. This thing is sliding every single time he enters the corner, and that is rapidly opening himself up to Brandon Atkinson, who has gained so much time on this 0 car as he continues to ice skate through 1 and 2. The 72 will be there before too long, and I fear what will happen to Greats when that already loose car gets pushed onto the high side.
Well, and here's the thing, Sky, when you have a situation like this, when you get loose like that, you overheat your tires, they lose grip, they get mad at you. That's what some announcers might say as Atkinson goes to the inside here, gonna make it close down in 3. Greats, let's see how he'll be able to contend. I imagine not too well, and weller than I would have imagined here off of turn 4, but when you overheat your tires like that, you lose grip, and the way you have to cool it back down is you have to run less easy, and it looks like Greats is not doing that. He may be running harder, which is why you see at the end car he's counter steering to the right.
He's not doing too bad there on that top line. He's not running as great of lap times, but he is doing a great job of slowing down Atkinson there by really stealing his run off the corner. He's been getting loose still, but not quite as loose as he was on the bottom, so maybe Greats has found a little something on this higher lane here as he tries to defend 5th. Ooh, almost contact there just past halfway.
Almost contact. You can see Atkinson wasn't able to quite get the speed to pull on through. We thought he would have charged up. He charged up really quickly. We thought he would have been able to squeeze on through, but no, Greats is putting up a really good fight. All the while, the 33 of Dustin Smith able to catch up to the both of them as they run side by side.
We will see if that 72 car, contact off the corner, near wreck between these two. It's getting a little hairy here as the 72 slides it up the road, and the 0 is barely off the door of Brandon Atkinson. This battle is the best one we've had almost all night here, as these two are not giving it up for P5. Near contact again. Here comes Dustin Smith in the 33 into the fray.
I cannot believe that these two are hanging on to it. It's going to pull through. Atkinson led the charge after Greats got so loose lap after lap after lap, but Greats said, hey, I may be loose, but that doesn't mean I'm slow. Holds him off on the high side, That was a really impressive defensive mark.
Great job there by Alex Straits. Even with a car that is very clearly struggling to make it on tires, he did a great job of defending there. And I think that actually running that high line might have helped him a little bit. It might have helped him find a way to manage this very loose condition that he has and continue to hold on to it. If we get a caution here before too long, we expect to see pit stops. We'll see who comes down, but I think Alex Straits is definitely one who's going to want new tires. Wouldn't be surprised if Atkinson does as well.
Bodie catching up a little bit to Johnson here. The gap was 0.6 of a second. Now it's just under 0.4 of a second. So maybe it's that time, it's that crossover for the 78 of Johnson that maybe Bodie has been able to save just a little bit more. Looking at lap times, this time across the stripe, Bodie was a 10th faster.
He's definitely got that speed. Oh, big dive for Alex Straits. Oh, boy. Doors Robert Taylor, the lap car, out of the way. That was an aggressive move from the zero, and now there's contact with Atkinson in the lap car as well. Woo boy, Robert Taylor. I don't think he appreciated that.
Great, you know it, not afraid to get aggressive. Let's take a look at the drivertees.com replay for that aggressive move. We'll ride here on the outside, watch along with the zero. It's Alex Straits just running. We saw him put up that impressive defense on the 72 of Atkinson. This is a lap car, the 66 of Robert Taylor. Greats, you saw him really shoves it in there. Doors the 66 up the track off of 2. He wanted to move through and try to stick the 72 of Atkinson behind and maybe gain some ground.
He hasn't gained too much ground right now because Atkinson is not far behind that 00 car. Greats was a little faster that last time around, and he's coming up on another lap car here, the 61 of Jake Grout, struggling with some pretty serious damage there behind the wheel of that machine. Greats is pretty loose again, drifting it through the corner, but the battle is up front right now. Corey Bodie has rapidly caught up to Aaron Johnson as we approach lap 90, 44, running the fastest lap times in the field.
The gap now under 0.2 of a second, so Johnson has fallen off just a little bit. Now this time across the stripe, Aaron Johnson has picked up the pace, just 3/100ths faster that last lap, so he definitely did have something in the tank. You gotta wonder, is Corey Bodie trying to come up here and push him, asking Johnson to punish his tires so that Bodie can take advantage later?
Well, we'll see. Bodie is faster right now, and oh, he's right to the bumper of that 78 car. You know Bodie wants to get the spot, and he wants it bad. Digging deep into these corners, trying to close in on the 78 for your race lead. The tires are starting to go here. We're 93 laps into this run. Who is going to have what it takes?
There's a bit of a mistake from Bodie. Another mistake. They compound upon each other. Gets on the binders, down in turn 2, then gets in the wall, entering turn 3, and he's going to lose a handful of time because of that. He's now back 0.4 of a second. So while not a lot, when you're in the battle for the lead like this, that is a big chip.
He'll have to re-rack him here and get right back at it. That is going to overheat his tires a little bit, so I think he'll likely wait a second, cool him back down, make sure he's got his equipment all sorted, and then once he thinks his car is back in shape, try to pursue Aaron Johnson and steal this lead away once again.
So a little bit of a battle
here, yeah.
Still going on here, back 5th through 7th. They're still close to each other, but I think Greats really proved that, hey, I need to be in front of you. I've got the speed to. I just made some mistakes early on.
Greats is definitely running better here now. I mean, if we look at his lap times, he ran a, what, 19.315 last time around? When he was having his moment, when he was slip sliding on down into the corner, he was running a 15 or a 19.58, 19.6. He might do that again here with another big slide through 1 and 2. We'll see what he runs through 3 and 4 here. That's a little more under control for the driver of that 0 car. He really wants a caution right now, because if he doesn't get one, he is going to be struggling all the way to lap 150.
Well, I'm really surprised that he's only as far off as he is. He's only about a 10th off from the fast times of Johnson and Bodie. So I'm really impressed with how he's driving that car, how fast he still is.
Yeah, Grace has done a really good job, and especially in comparison to your leaders, because, I mean, the lap times for Grates to Johnson have not fallen off that much. It's really only about, oh, lap car around there. Robert Taylor in the 66, and that'll bring out a caution.
Wow, we had such a long flag run, just about 60 laps. Take a look at the drivertees.com replay. This is Robert Taylor riding all on his own, loose off of turn number 4, slides it down the front straightaway. Luckily, no one else getting involved, just a single car spin. But it does bring us back under caution at the 2/3 mark.
And that's going to be huge for Grates. I mentioned he needed a caution
Really
there, and
is.
he's finally got one.
Well, and you know who else needed cautions? Guys like Dustin Smith, Brandon Atkinson, Jake Grout, and Robert Taylor to fix some of that damage they got earlier.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are going to come down. I think basically everybody will come down pit road here for service. Your top 3, Johnson, Bodie, Mulliken, and actually Aaron Harden as well, have all stayed out on the racetrack. And they will all come down this next time around. So Johnson, Bodie, Mulliken, and Harden are all now into the pits. And we will have pit stops underway for the whole field. 2 tires for Cody Dempster. He came down, put right sides on it, and came back out. So a quick pit stop for the 024.
I was going to say I'd be really surprised if we didn't see drivers from the lead come in that next time by for those fresh tires. Wonder if it'll be 2 or 4. We've seen Corey Bodie take it, and there we go. Aaron Johnson, it's going to be 2. Bodie, it's going to be 2 as well. But what will Mulliken choose? Looks like he chooses 2 as well. So all of your front 3 choose right sides, but I don't know what Harden chose.
The running order is going to be really shaken up. Aaron Harden, I think he actually put tires on it already, so he is just coming down for fuel, really, at this point. If he did take tires,
Probably
he took
put on
4,
2.
but I'm not entirely sure. Dempster, Atkinson, and Grates are going to be your new top 3 up here after some shakeups under that pit cycle. Atkinson and Grates are on 4. Everybody else in the top 8 is on 2. So let's see how this shakes out.
Well, this is going to be interesting. This is something that we haven't seen all evening long. How can Dempster and Atkinson prevail at the front? Can they prevail over some of these drivers that have been faster all night long? Bit of a tire spin for the 0 of Grates, but we're able to keep it all clean and good. Johnson could be able to take away 3rd position because of that, but it's Dempster leading the field down into turn 3.
Dempster's got a good thing going on there. I would like to update from race control. For unknown reasons, the pit road opened after the leaders had passed it, which is why they had to pit a lap later, and that's why this shakeup has occurred. Cody Dempster is going to try to make the most of this shakeup as the battle Harden into the wall, and Taylor, and around. Caution flies.
Harden had been doing so good before that initial incident earlier with the 61 of Jake Grout, and almost the same incident basically just happened with him and Jake Grout, but it looked like Grout squeezed him up into the wall there, and then he got tagged this time from the rears by the 66 of Taylor. That, to me, just initial watching along, looked like the 61 just squeezed him up into the wall.
Yeah, and he was in the wall a little before there on the front straightaway, so it already wasn't going great, and you see the contact there with Grout and the big hit from behind that turned him around.
All shown to you by the drivertees.com replay. So the 85 of Harden had such a great opening portion of this race. Was up 9 positions from the start, but since then has had that damage and has not been as fast as he was earlier. I'd definitely say he was definitely one of the fastest 5 here on the evening. But that shakeup that you talked about, Sky, is still going to be the same here up at the front.
Yeah, it'll be Dempster and it'll be Atkinson going from that front row. Aaron Johnson, who we saw lead a bunch of laps there, was leading the race before that caution came out. He'll go from 3rd, and then you have Alex Grates 4th. Corey Bodie 5th, Justin Mulligan, Jake Grout, Dustin Smith, Aaron Harden, your lead lap cars, and then your only other car in the race is Robert Taylor, 2 down.
So let's take a quick Juicy Spider side by side. Just under 40 or over 40 laps left here tonight from Myrtle Beach in the Hyper Summer Series. Thanks to Juicy Spider for the side-by-side cameras. Back under green flag action through the restart here in the Hyper Summer Series from Myrtle Beach. Cody Dempster's going to lead. Aaron Johnson on some fresh right-side tires. He's going to now move up into second after starting fourth earlier after the pit stop and before that other caution that we had. But it's a battle for third now between Grates and Atkinson. We've seen this battle before, Sky.
Yep, and with a shorter run, Grates, he's into the door of Atkinson. He's not going to have to worry quite as much about burning up the tires early because he's only got to run 40 laps on him here to the end of the race. Corey Bodie is working behind this battle. Driver who's been up first and second for most of the day, but he puts Atkinson into the fence back there. Ooh, boy, that was close.
No time for Bodie to play around. It's under 40 laps remaining, and Johnson is getting away. Johnson is a little bit up in front of him, about 7/10. The biggest gap between those two competitors all evening long. You've got to say that you've got to think that Bodie is thinking that Johnson is his best competition at the moment, so he needs to be as close to him as possible.
And Johnson is on his way to try to steal this lead away from Cody Dempster. Your fastest qualifier tonight got the lead back there on that kind of pit road jankiness. He's trying to hold it to go pole and the win here tonight. But Aaron Johnson wants to thwart those plans. Started up on the front row after the invert and has led the most laps tonight. He wants to lead the last 35 and bring it home.
I think Johnson's been really good about being controlled as well. We haven't seen many sporadic moves by him. I'd say the only thing you could say would be how hard he is on entry as compared to other drivers. But I think that's just a suggestive driver style. In other terms, he is really smooth all throughout the rest of the lap. We go back a little bit through the running order, looking here at the 33 of Dustin Smith. He's running in 6th. Brandon Atkinson, who decided to stay out, he has been falling through the field. He has fallen back to 5th.
Brandon Atkinson has not, in fact, had a good run here at the start of this sequence. He did come down, he did put 4 tires on it. You think that would maybe give him an advantage over the cars who came down and took 2, but we've heard from drivers multiple times over the course of this series that in certain situations they actually prefer a 2-tire pit stop to a 4-tire pit stop. And that might be what's hurting Atkinson here as he slips back to 6th, and if Mulligan can get him back to 7th.
I gotta imagine, Sky, it might tighten up the car just a little bit, getting those fresh right sides, so it gives you a little bit more control, a little bit more handling, so that might be why some of them might decide to take 2 rather than taking 4s. It's a change of balance within the race car. Still the battle here for the lead. Johnson right on the tail of the 24 of Cody Dempster, but he has not been able to make a move just yet. Dempster, I think he's going to be a difficult pass.
It's definitely a balanced play here with that tire strategy. A lot of these drivers set up with the goal of taking 2, and that is what they do pretty much every race for a lot of these guys at the front of the field. So they like the balance of their car on the 2 tires, and they do it almost every time. Bodie has been looking to the outside of Alex Grates, trying to get something going, but it's not quite happening. That 44 car is going to need to make the move soon if he wants to contend with Aaron Johnson.
You can see the gap to the next competitor of Johnson up battling with Dempster, but Greats. I talked about Dempster possibly being a difficult pass for Johnson. I think Greats is going to be even more of a difficult pass here for the 44 of Bodie. Because Greats, as we know, he is going to put up one heck of a fight.
Oh, both cars are in the wall there, and that might be what finally gets it done. No, it doesn't. Bodie is up the road, and Greats is able to hold him off. That 44 got tight, couldn't make the move. Greats was able to hold off Atkinson earlier in a car that was basically driving on ice skates. We know he can defend, and he is really frustrating Bodie right here. That 44 is stuck.
What a lunge for Bodie. You got to think if he might not have grazed the wall there, that he might have completed the pass, but they both made mistakes down the back straightaway, and that was able to give Greats a great run through 3 and 4 to carry momentum down the front straightaway and keep in this third position. All the while this is happening, they are 1.3 seconds behind the second place car of Johnson. So this is a huge gap that Bodie's going to have to make up if he can even get around Greats.
Oh, there he goes. Greats into the fence and around off the nose of Corey Bodie.
Oh my goodness. Bodie had enough. He said enough was enough. Greats was defending like crazy. Bodie knew that he was faster and was not going to play any more games.
You can see Greats just tagged the wall there, got stuck in the fence. A very similar incident to one we've seen multiple times around tonight, and it ends up with Greats backwards on the front straightaway.
I think that shows you that you can only get half the shot sometimes, and you can see that it was a similar situation to what we saw earlier. Bodie just no time to react as Greats gets into the outside wall. And honestly, actually, no, it's not going to be good because Bodie is probably going to get an EOL. I was going to say it was going to be good because it's going to rack up the field, but I imagine that Bodie might get an EOL because of that.
It will be good for Aaron Johnson if no one else in that 78 car. He could have a pretty good time here. Take advantage of that caution and get one more shot to catch Cody Dempster. After our 8th caution, he'll try to make it our 5th lead change of the night if he can get that 024 car.
I need somebody later within MRL to go get back and get a clip of our synchronized reaction of that incident. I had to break the fourth wall on that one because I almost died out of laughter on midair.
Whoa, yeah. 108 degrees track temp tonight. I do not think that has helped some of these drivers who have put it in the wall.
Hasn't helped Greats.
No, that's absolutely not helped Greats. I think he's just had Tokyo Drift on about a 2-hour loop here for this entire race.
This is really interesting in the terms of that the field has been switched around because of that weird pit stop from iRacing. Wouldn't let those leaders go in first. Could that mistake on iRacing's part possibly give Dempster the win?
Well, if Dempster does get the win, Johnson is going to have had a lot of chances to get around him here. We saw him up on the bumper of that 024 car before the caution came out. It can be a little hard to pass at Myrtle Beach, especially with what we've seen today and with a very slick track temperature. You've kind of got to force the car in front of you to make a mistake. But Johnson is going to have 20 more laps to try to do it here before he starts saying anything about that.
So Johnson got some time left, but he's got to get up on the wheel and get after it here. Green flag back in the air. Dempster, the control car. Another great jump as we got him wrecking on the front straightaway. Justin Mulligan. Somehow they were able to keep it straight. I thought we were piled up for sure.
Well, I'll tell you how he saved it. He used Jake Grout as his brakes, and the 61 car is pretty destroyed right now.
Man,
he's at the toe.
He went from looking like it was going to be such a great day, got involved in an incident, still had great speed, but then got involved in more incidents, including this one. It has just been a bad day for the championship leader here in the Hyper Summer Series. And with him having a bad day and Christian Peterson out, that really opens the door for Corey Bodie to possibly become the new championship leader. But he would love to arc that off with possibly a win.
Bodie's going to try to get it done here because he has rapidly closed in on Aaron Johnson. Pass back there is 6th, hard and around Greats, and now Bodie is down to the inside of Aaron Johnson. Makes it look easy. 44 car up to P2 here. Johnson maybe not drive it as well as he'd like.
It's around him just like that, all in one go. That's exactly what the 44 of Bodie needed. Now he can set all his eyes forward. 0.6 of a second ahead is the 024 of Cody Dempster, the current leader. And with just under 20 remaining, Bodie doesn't have a lot of time left.
No, he needs to go now if he is to get this lead back from Cody Dempster in the 024. Got the lead off a little bit of fortune there on the pit cycle, but he's done a great job to hold the lead, a great job to defend what he has. And as we come around to take 17 to go, Johnson is not over yet. He is going to make another pass, and he'll get around Corey Bodie. And now it'll be Johnson pursuing Dempster. Every time these two cars get back and forth, Dempster gets further and further away.
Well, I think the reason we're seeing that such easy passes is they're kind of giving it to each other as one of them maybe gets the inside, because they know if they stick side by side, they'll lose even more time. But it's now a second to the lead for Dempster, and Dempster's actually running faster than both of your early leaders, Johnson and Bodie.
Yeah, Dempster has really turned it on here in the last bit of this race. 33 car. This is Justin Smith in the battle for fourth, trying to hold the spot from Brandon Atkinson. And that 33 car gets it done pretty comfortably here tonight. Dempster had a disastrous start to this race, to say the least. He basically crashed and went a lap down on lap 1. Spent a lot of time trying to recover, then got in another wreck and went another lap down. And it has all come together here after about 115 laps of fighting back to get himself back up to the lead, and with 12 to go to get himself up into winning position here tonight at Myrtle Beach.
He's put himself in that position. He got a little bit of a lucky draw straw from iRacing to be able to officially get that lead, but he is proving right now that even without it, he might have had the pace on his own. He is continually just a little bit faster than Johnson and Bodie. The last few times by, he was about a 10th faster. This time by, just a little bit slower by a few hundredths. But is there enough time for Johnson and Bodie to possibly catch? There's still 0.8 of a second in the rears.
One thing that is definitely not helping these guys is that fall off has increased dramatically. The start time of this race was about 10 a.m. in iRacing, and that means that as we've gone through the day, the temperature outside has only gotten hotter, and the track temp has only gotten hotter as well. We went from under 100 to now 110 degrees on this latest run. I wonder if some of these cars like Johnson and Bodie were maybe caught out a little bit by the shifting track temperature. And now that the track is really warm, the tires are going down easier. They do not have as much left as they thought they might.
I think I'd have to agree with you, Sky, and I think I'd say that's probably exactly what is happening to these two drivers at the moment. There's under 7 laps remaining, and Dempster all out front on his lonesome. This battle for second is the closest battle on the racetrack besides the 0 of greats right behind Brandon Atkinson. They continue to battle it out, and I feel like they've been glued together all evening long.
These two have not gotten away from each other. Greats is now having to be on the attack instead of the defense when it comes to the 72 of Atkinson. Usually he's been the one in front trying to hold off that 72 car. But that pink 0 will now try to get the run to the inside to get the last spot in the top 5. He's still loose. I don't think he's ever not been loose tonight. There he goes again. Maybe he'll get the spot here as we come around to 5 to go next time.
I've got to imagine that maybe he puts his steering wheel offset, because there is no way that he could drift around the track all night long like this and keep up this pace. Unless Alex Grates knows something that I don't know. I've never seen some driver drive like him, and yet he continually has pace each and every lap.
Yeah, he's been steering more to the right, I think, more than he's been steering to the left, really. Like, if you look at his wheel, it looks like he's driving a dirt late model for about half of this thing. It is crazy what he is doing behind the wheel of that car. He gets it turned back to the left on entry, but then he's right back on the right to try to stop it from spinning out. He goes back to straightaway neutral on this car. He'll turn it back to the left here, and he's going to be right back to the right trying to keep the thing up on exit.
Truly, truly just another level of skill for the 0 of greats. right hot on the heels here for that of Atkinson. Back up towards the front. This is not the battle for the lead like it was earlier. This is second, third, and fourth position. Good job for Dustin Smith to get back in it, but it's not about this battle. It's what's up in front of them. Cody Dempster out by 1.6 seconds in front of Johnson and Bodie. He's going to come back this time to pick up the white flag one more time here around Myrtle Beach Speedway. Like you said, Sky, he went down one lap at the beginning of this race, had a lot of damage, spent a lot of time fixing that, and through a little bit of a lucky break from iRacing, was able to take the lead on a restart, and now he'll come to take the checkered flag as your fifth different winner here in 2025 in the Hyper Summer Series. Cody Dempster, take him to victory lane.
He'll get it done here, Cody Dempster. Coming into this race back in 21st in points. Not even on our graphic at the start of this race. This will be a big win for him to vault him up those standings and get him a little bit closer to the top 10.
A truly impressive run. A run of attrition for the 024 of Dempster. A lot of drivers after that first lap incident might have called it quits, but not Cody Dempster. He was not going to give up at the end of this day. And this is what he comes to show for it. The fruits of his labors, a win in the Hyper Summer Series. Let him burn it down. Let him celebrate. We'll get to watch along with that in just a moment. We'll send you to a brief commercial. We'll get back to you with results and interviews from our top three drivers. Cody Dempster burns it down on the front straightaway at Myrtle Beach.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Myrtle Beach Speedway, a place that always produces great racing, and it did the same for us here tonight in the Hyper Summer Series. Cody Dempster picks up his first win of the season in the Hyper Summer Series by quite a margin over second place 78 of Aaron Johnson. Corey Bodie finishes in third. Dustin Smith threw an up and down day, finishes in 4th. 5th, the 85 of Aaron Harden. I think everybody pretty much had an up and down day. 6th, it was the 51 of Mulligan. In 7th, it was the 72 Brandon Atkinson. In 8th, the 0 of Alex Grates got involved in a little bit of a scuffle on that last lap coming to the checkered. Then in 9th, the first car 1 lap down, the 66 of Robert Taylor, in the first of the drivers to end the night disconnected. 10th place rounding out the top 10, the 61 of Grout.
Back from there, your DNFs, your very early DNFs tonight were the 22 of John Leday, the 71 of Christian Peterson, Tim Weinkoff, Hudson Geiger, and Matthew Knott round out your field here tonight. Scott is standing by here with our race winner. We are going to pull in just a second Cody Dempster up into the booth.
Yeah, Cody, look, what a night for you. I mean, Sky said it earlier in the broadcast. You pretty much started off this race after that first incident going 1 lap down. Did you think that throughout the night you could possibly get your way back up to the front and even take the win?
I mean, I knew we had a good piece to roll off the trailer with. After that first incident, I was real mad, to put it lightly. And just kind of plucked away at it. Took a big bulk of damage there at the beginning. Got some more when Weinkoff got in the wall a little bit, and that was no fault of his. I just happened to be wrong place, wrong time with the famous iRacing backstretch. We're going to slow you down 30 mile an hour. Besides the point with that, it kept slowly plucking away at it, and eventually just hoped we would get up there. And even before the caution came out, where we all came down and got tires, we were plucking away at the lead pretty heavily, and came down, got tires, and never looked back. And I really thought they were gonna put up a better fight, but I guess old Caudle Chassis side of this thing tuned up pretty good tonight.
Well, it seemed like as the track continued to heat up, it seemed that track position became more and more important, because you had the same speed as the leaders most of the night, but it seemed once you were finally able to establish your position out front, they were not able to catch you. Did you feel kind of the same, or were you just looking forward the whole time saying, I'm going to keep running the lead?
I looked at it of just getting a rhythm, just keep hitting your mark, same thing lap after lap after lap. They were so on edge every corner that if they misstepped a little bit, they'd lose a lot of time. So I think we were a faster car overall, but just the consistency factor that we had tonight gave us a huge benefit.
Well, Cody, anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
I got to thank Caudle Chassis, Josh Caudle, all the boys over there. We threw this thing together kind of rather quickly tonight. Didn't exactly know which direction we want to go, and we tweaked and tweaked and tweaked and got this thing really, really good. And then you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Kyle Adams and MRL for giving us a good place to race. I know the beginning of the race was rough, but it still sure was fun.
Well, congratulations, man. I know it was a fun one. Celebrate.
Thank you, guys.
Cody Dempster picking up his first win of the Hyper Summer Series here in 2025 in Season 2. And Sky, you've gotten to talk to Aaron Johnson, who came runner-up.
Aaron Johnson, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
You led the most laps tonight, but after the pit stop, you weren't able to get it done. What more did you need to steal the win?
Well, that caution came at a weird time. When the pace car passed me, it said the pit road was closed, and then all of a sudden it opened up as soon as it passed me. So it just kind of screwed everything out of the way for me. But what can you do? It's part of it. I mean, I had a good car tonight. I felt like we had a really good piece to win this thing. Corey had a really good piece behind me all night long. It's just how the cards got played tonight.
Yeah, what about your race there with Bodie? Really, both throughout the race and then also at the end, because you two were going at it pretty good.
Well, he's a good buddy of mine. We're gonna race each other with respect, and me and him, we're gonna trade some paint, but we're gonna do it respectively and everything. But we ain't gonna wreck each other. I mean, we're gonna pull on the best show we can between me and him.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
I got to thank the RKM setup shop people, Corey, William Hale, Justin Crow, everybody that helps me out doing this. Let's see if we can just go get him here in a couple weeks.
All right, congrats on P2 tonight, Aaron Johnson.
Appreciate it.
And we are going to now throw it back over to Scott because he is standing by with our third place finisher, Corey Bodie.
Yeah, Corey, it seems that you're always just in the wrong place at the wrong time because each and every week you have speed lap after lap after lap, and it seems like something just always happens to you. What do you think might have happened tonight? What more did you need to get past Harden and maybe get up to fighting with Dempster?
Right, that seems to be the story of the season, right? You always put yourself in good spots, lead laps, show up with a really good piece, and it's always something happens, right? And tonight was just a story of the best car didn't win. Truthfully, we kind of the pit road opened after we had passed it, so we had to pit the second time by, and you really only have 2 good shots on new tires to get around somebody that's on similar stuff, and having to restart 7th and 8th with those 2 attempts was just wasn't enough. Cody got clean air and did what he had to do with it and was able to come away with it. And as frustrated as I was, you have to just kind of be content with it because it's not Cody's fault and it's not our fault. So
Well, I'll give you some news that might make you feel just a little bit better. Although you've unable to pick up that win, you've been so close. You've done really well for yourself in terms of leading up near the top 5 in the championship. Entering this race, you were 28 points behind Jake Grout and only 4 points behind Christian Peterson as you ran third. But they both bowed out of this race fairly early, so you're going to have a pretty good points gain on them and contend for this championship. Does that make you feel any better? I know you want to win, but obviously the eventual goal is the championship.
yeah, absolutely. You want to win it for your buddies and your team that put all the practice and effort into making the car really good. And we have really, really high expectations, and that's especially for myself. I should have most certainly won 3 or 4 of these by now. And, this is the first time getting to talk to y'all this year. So that's quite disappointing. But I guess making headway on the board, we'll take it.
Well, they say just keep getting after it. Those who are up front will eventually continue to finish up front. Corey, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, absolutely. RKM Setup Shop, Ryan over there, Bald Bandits, Aaron, Hale, Justin. We all work really hard on trying to experiment with this league. We always show up with something a little different than what Ryan provides, and we give it our best shot, right? And Shift Face Motorsports, me, Aaron, and Gene are the last 3 of that little crew, and we know how to race each other really hard and respectful and try to make it fun for everybody to watch.
Well, I know you want that win. We believe it's coming, but you are on the up and up, man. Keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
Corey Bodie rounds it out, 3rd place, first podium of the season, and he's arguably been one of the fastest cars, Sky, but it's not going to be enough here at the end of the night, how it played out here at Myrtle Beach. That's going to end it for us here from Myrtle Beach. I want to hear your thoughts, Sky, on this race. I think Sky might have dipped out from us. I don't know where he dipped off to. Oh, there's Sky. What's up? You back?
Yeah, muted myself on accident there. What I was trying to say is that Corey Bodie has 3 more chances to snag a win this season at Sobo, Thompson, and Hickory, respectively. And I bet he's going to make the most of those chances to find his way into victory lane.
I couldn't agree with you more there, Sky. We'll head off to Sobo here in 2 weeks' time. And that's my track, that's my place, and I'm really excited that we're getting head off to there, Sky. I'll ask your thoughts about that next race here coming at Sobo because we see late model stocks run there a lot, but not as often here with the super late models.
Yeah, Sobo is a great track. I know you have a lot of experience calling races there, and I think it's going to be a really fun one. It always puts on a show whenever we do go there in the Misfit Racing League, and I'm expecting another good one in 2 weeks.
I have to agree with you there, and we'll end it off at Thompson and Hickory into the September months. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. The Hyper Summer Series is alive and active, and the action is always good each and every race. We thank you all. Big thanks to everyone here at MRL. Big thanks to Kyle Adams, Jake Sylvia, and Corey Bodie. Big thanks here to everyone at V-Speed. Bradley Cooper here with Morgan Cook. Big thanks to the broadcast team, Morgan Cook in production, and my color commentator here tonight, Sky Shrek, my colleague in the booth. My name is Scott Shive. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Sobo.
He will this time. He'll take a peek to the inside. Slide him high off the corner.
There's contact there in turn 1 and 2. Oh my goodness! Hassler has it out front. Hey, bay doors.